I just want to take a moment to thank a couple people for showing up. One of them is this man right here, Earl. Thank you so much, Earl. Another two are my two friends over there, Joy and Ha. Joy is my longest friend ever. We've been friends since we were 2. Our moms were besties. And then I think some shit happened, I don't know. But my mom, my mom's not on this, okay. My mom and her are still sisters, and Ha is from my college family. I was part of this marketing group called Trojan Marketing Group, and that was the other time that I experienced family. And just want to take a moment to thank Sissy because your song really, for the past 2 days, I've felt this really strong pain in my chest. And to be honest, I feel this pain kind of all the time. And what I do is I dissociate. But as my practice has gone stronger and the more I feel it, I know the pain is trying to tell me something. Has anybody else ever felt broken? Does anybody here feel like they come from a broken family? Or, yeah, okay, I thought so. It all makes sense now. Okay. So, oh, that's me. The title of my talk is I Found Teachers, but an alternative title would be I Found Family. And I was actually going to start my talk, and I do the recorded version, going straight into the teachers. But thanks to that man over there, Mayank, with some really needed encouragement on a Thursday night, and Kawan over there, who has healed me in so many ways, it's unbelievable. I decided I'm actually going to start with myself. Which means we're going to have to go a little bit over 7 minutes. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. I also thought so, but who said no? Who said no? Okay. Okay, so me. I've confessed to you before that I have a really big ego, right? Yes. Okay. So as meditators do, we try to find the cause, and from what I can tell, it's been there for a long time. So you should, let's repeat these words. 自己教自己. 自己教自己. Okay, it means I taught myself in Mandarin. According to my mom, ever since I've been able to speak pretty much, I would claim that I taught myself. My mom would be like, oh, who taught you that new word? Be like, 自己教自己. Who taught you this new story? 自己教自己. So I don't know. I was like, it's definitely because of trauma and blah, 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 but maybe it's my past life or something, but there is a part of me that is a little bit like that. And then there's another part, which is probably a bigger part, and that's pain. So a quick summary of my story is my parents immigrated to Vancouver, Canada from China when I was 1. And pretty much right after just disaster struck, the Chinese government seized our assets, so all of our money, and either my mom or my dad had to go back to figure shit out. Otherwise, we would have nothing. And at that point, my parents were really rich, so it was like, damn. And of course, my mom volunteered because my mom is the most courageous person I know. Not because she is fearless, but because she is full of fear. And my mom went back and she got kidnapped and okay, a lot of shit happened, okay? A lot of shit happened. And she has a scar to tell the story because, okay, I don't think I need to tell you about that part. All to say, some shit really hit the fan when I was young. And so my mom was in China from, I think, the time I was 1 to the age of 3, and I was with my dad. And at that time, my mom's parents were with me for a little bit. And when my mom finally came back, we were inseparable. She tells me she felt so guilty for being away, and so she just babied the hell out of me. Like apparently, okay, I know this to be true, I still remember. I would like sit on her lap and she would feed me dinner like until the age of like 8. Or was it 10? I don't know. Point is, my mom and I got really attached. Like, and my parents fought a lot, you know, like, I'll be honest, when I think about my childhood, like most of the memories are kind of ugly. Like Emily, I had an imaginary friend. I had Bear Bear, my teddy bear, and I'd hold on to him and weep into the night because mom and dad were screaming at each other downstairs. And whenever there was a fight, I would try to get involved. I would go and I'd lick the tears off my mom's face. I would yell at my dad. I was a big mama's boy, and you know, I felt like it was all my fault. And a part of me still does. But that's not where the story ends. When I was 10 years old, my parents told me that my dad would be going back and forth between Vancouver and China for business reasons. I'm like, okay, cool. And when I was 11, I caught my mom with my piano teacher. And it wasn't like I caught them in bed or anything, but like I was a smart kid, you know? And I was like, wait, this dude, he's, okay, something's going on between you two and you're not telling me. This really hurts. What the fuck, Mom? You're my hero. So that was when our relationship started to become explosive. I don't know. It got really bad. When I was 13, I went back with my mom to visit my dad in China. And long story short, we found out he had had a daughter with another woman. That's my sister, Chloe. This, of course, broke my heart. And then it broke my mom's heart to the point where she would start acting really mean to me all the time. She was just always angry, always so full of rage. And again, I thought it was all my fault. But as teenagers do, I'm not just gonna like take it like, oh, like I'm the source of all your misery. I get it. I'm like, I'm gonna fight back. And again, things got really ugly. It kind of felt like at times either she would have to die or I would. And when I was 16, I found out that my dad had another kid, my sister Mia, through scrolling on his phone. And I told my dad, and I told my mom, sorry. And at that point, I was kind of numb to it all. I was like, all right, this is just my family. But this really broke my mom because I think they agreed no more of that lying shit. No more of the having babies with other people, you know? Like, let's try to work. And my mom got really depressed. And now this was like a different mom I had to deal with. It was still flares of angry mom, but depressed mom was almost worse. And I remember two distinct moments where my parents were really happy. One was when I was about 7 years old, and we were looking outside the window, and the rain was coming down, but it wasn't rain. I was like, that's not rain. That's moving slower. That's hail. And my parents were like, yeah, that's hail. How did you know? You're so smart. And they were so happy and proud, and I was like, oh, yeah, I did something. Yeah, I guess I am smart. Yeah, it's hail, guys. And the other time I felt my parents being really happy is when I got into my dream school. So I got into USC. It's a great school. I was really proud. I actually even got a half tuition scholarship to attend there. And that was, that made me really proud, but what mattered to me much more is that it made my parents really proud. Like, my dad had this big celebration dinner. He invited all his friends, all these people I'd never met before, but they're like all there for me. It was like this banquet. Everybody's there shaking my hand like I'm the president. I'm like, holy shit, I might just be him. Like, the problem with egos is that they break. And this is me. Thanks, guys. You're not going to go on after I tell the story. So graduation was really painful for me. Why? Because, well, I graduated a year late because I took a gap year during COVID, and that's when I picked up meditation. And, well, none of my best friends showed up because, I don't know, I didn't tell them, to be fair. My family did show up, my mom, dad, and my sisters. But it kind of felt like things were never as broken. Like it couldn't be more broken than that. Like there was just so much anger. So much anger to the point where, my mom wouldn't want to have dinner with us. And it'd be this whole thing. I'm like, Mom, why don't you want to have dinner? It's like, oh, why don't you have dinner with your dad and your sister? I'm like, oh my gosh, no, Mom, please, just have dinner with me, please. No, okay. So that was the night before grad and the night of grad. All of them felt tired, so they went back to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, okay. I did this for you guys. And it feels like you don't care. And the night after graduation, we finally sat down as a family. And the sisters are grumbling and no. But I was like having a good moment with my mom. Finally, I just wanted her to say something nice, like, good job, I love you. I don't know, something nice. And we were sharing sake, and it was going so well. And she turns to me, she's like, I just want you to know, in the future, I don't want you to call me. I don't want you to come see me. I think you should just stay away from me. That hurt. That really, really, really hurt. Okay, so I got home to Vancouver, and things were still bad, and it was my 1.5-year anniversary with my ex, Hannah, who is an amazing person. And because I was so heartbroken, I couldn't really be present with her. And so I think she could sense that, and things were kind of like, oh, you're moving to New York, what are we gonna do? Blah, blah, blah. And on the day after our anniversary, I got mad at her over something small, like she dropped some dishes. I'm like, why? Can you be more careful? And she's like, well, anyways, you don't need to rehash the whole fight. But long story short, we broke up. And then the day after graduation, I went to see my best friends from high school. Not graduation, sorry, the breakup. The night of the breakup, I went to see my best friends after high school. We got fucked up, and we got back, and I was really sad, so I was scrolling on my phone, and one of my best friends says to I feel like I need to give like a trigger warning. I don't know, this is gonna be weird. But like one of my best friends says to my other best friend, like, we should go rape Michael. And I had no idea what to make of that. But all I remember is he comes to me, and I'm not gonna, yeah, he doesn't do that, but he like pins me against the couch and he tries to spit in my mouth, and two of my best friends were there to witness that, and it's hard to understand what even happened because they would still hang out with him afterwards. But I just knew something wrong had happened. And my heart was still broken for my family. Honestly, like, I couldn't even really process it because my heart was so broken for my family. And then I go on this grad trip, and it's fun. And I moved to New York, and that's really fun. And I start my new job, and I'm like working a lot. And I was like, oh, this is New York life. This is sick. And as you can guess, the darkness and the pain, they start coming, and I get really depressed. And it was about a year ago that I found 3 jewels. Oh. Yeah, I agree with that. But now I want to tell you about the teachers that I found this past year. Okay, that is, does anybody know what that is? Paloma? It's close. Yes, it's MDMA, and it's I think it's the red pill she was talking about. I don't know. So, say what you will about drugs, is meditation better than drugs? Yes, period. And trust me, I've done a lot of them. I started smoking weed when I was 13. This drug in particular has saved my life. And the reason is because there's clinical trials right now talking about how MDMA is the best cure we have against PTSD. And I didn't realize I had PTSD. I thought I just had really, really bad ADHD because I would be driving and my mind would be, I don't even know where, and we'd almost hit somebody. And my friend would be like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. But this is how I started to heal. And if you want to talk about it more, we can talk after class. But I really do believe in the power of this thing. So yeah, that's a quick one. Thank you, MDMA. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Gabor Mate, Dr. Bessel Lenerko, Dr. Nicole Lapera, Elena Bon, and Caitlin. Caitlin is my therapist. These other people are psychologists or they work in the mental health space. And before I found Mr. Hector, Marcel, and all of you, these were the people who I leaned on. And they taught me some really, really valuable lessons about trauma, about attachment, about, honestly, this Dr. Gabor Mate has this book on the myth normal, how the world is really fucked up and it leaves us with traumas and we don't know they're traumas. So we just start saying, oh, you have anxiety, you have depression, you have BPD, narcissism, whatever, insert mental health disorder. And it's it starts to make people feel like they're the ones who are broken, but he says it's something else. We can get into that more later. There's quite a few people I want to get through. Thank you, Stutz and Jonah Hill. Okay, nice, yeah. Jonah Hill, you know him. Stutz is his therapist. They did a documentary together. And before I heard about the 4 Arya truths, Stutz said, essentially, life is suffering. He said there are 3 inescapable things in life: pain, constant work, and doubt. And I was like, that was the first time where it was like, wait, maybe I'm not a victim. Maybe I'm not the most unlucky, broken person ever. Maybe this is just being human. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to show myself what I'm made of. And from January to March, I woke up every morning, 7 a.m. I took a cold shower. I went to the gym. And I've never gone to the gym consistently in my life. And I'm really proud of myself for those 2 months. Thank you, Rylan. Rylan is my best friend. We've been best friends since we were 11. I wouldn't be here without him. And what Rylan has taught me is that when things are really, really dark, all you need is one friend. All you need is one person who will listen to you, who will show you love, who's there for you. Rylan was that person for me. And I am also this person for Rylan. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler, you remember his talk yesterday? It was really, really good. It was on the projector. Yeah. Tyler introduced me to 3 Jewels. And he was also the first person to see me in New York. And so I'm deeply thankful for him. After my second yoga class here, I think it was in January, I heard about this retreat in Mexico. And I just knew in my heart that I needed to go. You ever get those gut feelings? And I'm so glad that I went, but it was thanks to 2 people. Thank you, Santi. Where is she? Where are they? Sorry. I don't even know what to say. You saved my life. Thank you, Sissy. I also don't know what to say. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mexico City. Hey, who's that? Yeah, Paloma, Jetsaman, like, I love your home. Oh my gosh. Okay, when Hector jokes that I'm Spanish on the inside, whatever, like, I feel that. I went to this place, everybody's like dancing on the street, and they're like hugging and kissing, and I'm like, yeah! I felt at home. And I met a girl, and I thought she was my soulmate, you know? We're just friends now. But, I love her. All right. Oh, these videos play. Yeah. Mexico City is super lively. You should go. Yeah, it is Sunday. Yeah. How do I skip this? Okay. Thank you, Tim, Maya, Nicole, Bree, Nikki, Neil, Talene, Katie, Brittany S, Brittany H, Alexis, Victoria, Melissa, Sam, Terry. If you recognize some of these names, it's because they're TAs. And it's because a lot of them did MTT last year, the year before, and that's all they talked about while we could still talk. And it was my first taste of family, like a new family. I have this bracelet that Earl gave all of us. Nicole tied mine. I just never felt so seen. I didn't even have to say anything. I could just be. And people loved me. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Earl and Sachi. Sachi, I think you're there. Oh, she is there. Earl was the first person to teach me Dharma. But he was also the only person in the world, pen who could have switched it on for me, because I had a really big ego. Because I wasn't gonna just trust this pen thing. Like Tim was trying to explain the pen thing to my car, and I had like a million rebuttals, and I was like, well, what if like a kid is like 3 months old and blah 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 blah. He has some kind of condition. Like, how do you explain that? And he's like, and it's like I had all these questions, and I'm sorry. Earl, thank you for being the most humble person I know. And thank you for always making space for my questions. You mean the world to me. Thank you, Sachi. One of the most meaningful moments of my life, actually, is when we were on retreat and I said, Sachi feels like a big sister to me, and she came and she gave me a hug, and I need that hug so bad. Thank you, Sachi. Thank you, John, Chris, Priya, Ali, David, Kia, Sam, Zoe, Lynn, Rachel, Maya, Tanya. These are all some of the amazing teachers here at 3 Jewels. Maybe you've taken their classes before. They've all changed my life with their unique flavors of love and compassion and wisdom and all the things that we learn here. Thank you, Kaylin and Louie. Yes, there are two. Okay. Kaylin and Louie were my first friends at 3 Jewels post-retreat. Your love for each other is inspiring. Your love for all of us is inspiring. I love you both. Thank you. Thank you, Dion. If there's one good thing I did this year, it was tell Dion, hey, come to Supriya's class. It's next Thursday at the Met Gala, and you are a joy to us. Thank you, Cami. Maria Camila is my best friend at 3 Jewels. I love her so much. She is so selfless, and thank you, Maria. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Diego. You're a big brother to these weirdos with broken families. Thank you, Rachel. You're so beautiful. Okay, thank you, Sarah. You create a home for us in the cafe. Thank you, Natalie, Callie, Kakoma, Shrina, Lula, you're my friends. Thank you for saying. Thank you, Royal. Thank you, spiritual protectors. Thank you, MPD. Thank you so much. Thank you, History Mother. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.